Okay, so today we turn to solving equations using multiplication and division. So we're going to consider the inverse operations for each. What is the inverse operation for multiplication? Or in other words, what's the opposite of multiplying? And dividing is correct, so the inverse operation for multiplication is division. And the inverse operation for division must be multiplication. So again, we solve equations by getting the variable by itself using inverse operations. So consider the first example. We have negative 6x equals 48. What operation is going on the left side that we don't see a symbol for? If you're thinking multiplication, you're right. Negative 6 times x equals 68 is the way to read the problem. So we see x is getting multiplied by negative 6. We need to use the inverse operation for multiplication, which we said was division. So the way we're going to show our work here is to write the fraction bar, which implies division. So we're going to divide both sides by negative 6, just like that. Okay, so on the left side, we've undone the multiplication with division. So we cross away the negative 6's. Another way to think of that is we're dividing negative 6 by negative 6, and that simply leaves us with 1x. So x is equal to 48 divided by negative 6, negative 8. And then we want to check that by substituting negative 8 back into the original equation where we see x. So we've got negative 6. We need to use parentheses so it doesn't look like negative 6 minus 8. And then we want to put a question mark over the equals bar. Does that equal 48? Okay, negative 6 times negative 8 is 48. So we show that we've checked our work. Okay, let's turn to a problem using division. So we have y divided by 12, or I'm sorry, y divided by 2 equals 10. We want to undo division using its inverse, which is multiplication. So the way we're going to show multiplication is to write our 2 multiplied by y over 2 that way, and on the right side, same thing, put the 2 in parentheses. Okay, so we can cross the 2's out. We've undone the division with multiplication. Another way to think of it is 2 divided by 2, since this is really 2 over 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1y. Y equals 10 times 2, or 20. Again, please check your work. So we substitute 20 back in for y. 20 over 2 does that with a question mark equal 10. Extend the page here, and sure enough, 10 equals 10. Check our work. Okay. So I'd like you to try these, solving all the equations, even if it's obvious to you what the answer is using mental math. I really want you to solve them step by step, use the inverse operations of multiplication or division, and then show your check. Write all the steps. Okay, so go ahead and pause the video. When you're ready, turn it back on. Okay, so let's move down the screen. Shade. And the first one, x equals 9 is the answer. Then a equals 6, y equals 26. The last one, q equals negative 64. Hope you did well. All right, so let's wrap up what we did today by recognizing that we've learned 2 new properties. The division property of equality says that dividing both sides of an equation by the same non-zero number, remember we can't divide by 0. Division by 0 is undefined in mathematics. So dividing both sides of an equation by the same non-zero number gives us an equivalent equation. Similarly, the multiplication property of equality says that when we multiply both sides of an equation by the same non-zero number, we get an equivalent equation. And that's it for today.